Too bad you're in it. I think it's going. Okay, well, what's your name?
What's my name? My name is Nezka, and I'm the curator of the museum.
Yeah, very good. And what's your name?
2017. My name's Mary Morello, and I'm a herbarium curator, no, associate curator in the herbarium for the last 39 years.
Okay.
And we're in the basement of the museum building.
With the artwork. Now, this artwork was done by, the amazing part is this was done by kindergarten artists, right?
No.
No.
Thank you. Please don't post that online because then this is going to get very...
No, I don't, no.
So yeah, all of the large paintings were inspired by Monet's work in Paris, but also by the water lily collections here at the garden. And the artist, whose name is Arslan, basically created this series thinking about the water lilies in the pools during the course of the day.
Is he local?
No, he's in New York City.
Oh, and he was on acid. That's what it was.
He's a very abstract style painter. He's also known for being a sculptor, so this was kind of an unusual project, I thought, for him to be interested in, but he's definitely more interested in, abstract than art as traditional. I actually thought he would be more water lilies and
Now, you didn't buy these or pay money for these, did you?
No.
Oh, good.
So what happened was the original pitch for the exhibition happened by the artist's gallerist, who I know is a friend of mine, and she was like, hey, I've got somebody who might be able to do something really interesting. And so they pitched this concept, like a smaller version of Monet's series from Paris, but all contemporary. And I said, well, that sounds amazing, very perfect. I said, but it's got to go hand in hand with our water lily collections because those are actually really important and significant. It would be really great to kind of tag. And they're like, oh, okay. So I, took their proposal and put some things together about our collections, and then pitched it to the president, and he was like, okay. Like, it was the quickest approval I'd ever had, I think, on the project.
Wow.
So, and then it took 2 years. So from the moment that we decided that this was going to happen,
It was a 2-year process.
it was a 2-year process. So we spent so we had to plan the whole calendar of 2019 of, documenting and capturing everything that happened in the pools. And then Mary was involved with orchestrating which cultivars and species would get collected and turned into specimens, which we then knew would then go on display in the exhibition. And then I had to, I had interns who helped me research the plants, and Derek and Mary were involved with making sure I had everything correct. And then we were just about to get ready to install the show when the pandemic happened and we had a closure. And since the museum hasn't been able to be reopened, I was allowed at least to install the exhibition because I did not want 2 years worth of great work to go and evaporate with no evidence. And so thankfully everybody agreed, and I was able to do that. And so I was able to get people in to help me hang the artworks, and then I installed all those specimens. And then, the idea was to find different ways to interpret the exhibition. So there's blog posts, there's videos.
And they're open for the night.
Oh, yeah.
Members' nights?
7 members' nights.
Yeah.
So 2 actually were donors' nights, and then the remaining 5 were for members.
Yeah. Philip, you think I know one of those members.
Right.
It was like the last one.
It might have been.
Yeah, it was. Exactly.
That was the one that also the gang, Lauren and Amy and Susie came, and I think Doug maybe also, and Monica came. They may have come earlier that same evening. I don't think.
It was a super spreader event too, I believe.
It was not.
No, it was not.
The thing
No.
about, that was also the thing, because I had not had a chance yet to implement my COVID plan for the museum. That was the tester, and I had staff who were helping me from institutional advancement, and we had seven nights we were open and nobody got sick. So
Good.
clearly my plan works.
Okay, I feel safe. Let's go upstairs.
Wait, say that again?
Or no one was interested in coming.
Okay, now we're upstairs. A beautiful museum. This place is beautiful. Check it out.
Oh, did you hear this?
The St. Louis Symphony?
Did you hear that? She said it's going to...
Yeah.
But it's going to be a live stream. So actually, we're going to pre-record the concert. We're coming here pre-record, and then we're going to stream not actually gonna have people here, no.
Oh, bummer.
I'll be here, because I'll probably do my
Can
live
I
feed.
help? Can the two of us help? What can we do? We can,
It's just not the same streaming.
No, but if we got to be here when they shot it.
Oh, the thing is though, I don't know that I can have you because there's
No.
Cassidy and Christina, their sound guy, three or four musicians, and then their conductor.
Love that. Can you?
Otherwise, I would have to. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's in order for it to happen at all, it's streaming. The Box Society, all they're doing is streaming this season.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch Roy do a concert in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So yeah, Philip, I don't know if you want. This is the original herbarium.
Yeah, keep going.
1859, yes. Although I think it was 1859 or 1850 or 1860. It's just like the garden was supposed to have opened in 1858, but because of the lawsuit by the lady, the Palamoni piano, that got pushed back. At least that's what I've always been told.
Okay.
So 1859 or 1860, and it was restored and renovated and reopened in April of 2018.
I remember
So
that.
we were sneaking in here using it as
Tell the story about the ceiling too. How they didn't know that painted ceiling.
So, that's the room, that's in here.
Oh, the other room. Okay.
So this ceiling they always knew about. The issue is that it was a plaster mural and it had been painted over and added to multiple times over the course of the century and some. It had been painted originally. So when they decided to renovate the building, they looked at it, decided to remove all the overpainting, documented whatever was left of the original mural, and then took that like kind of architecture idea and documentation. The studio that worked on it was in Brooklyn. They then recreated the mural on multiple sections of canvas, but also added tons of other stuff in. Like there weren't this many plants that were identifiable by species before.
Oh, you just ruined it. I thought it was original.
No, sorry. That's the long reveal that it is actually the real thing.
Yeah, although you didn't see the original before, but you saw the second sort of wave of it.
Yeah, that's right.
The first time you were in here. Yeah, the first time you were in here. It wasn't quite like that.
No, it wasn't.
Because this got redone.
Right. And much.
This palette is much prettier. The other
Yes.
one is really intense and very kind of tropical almost. From what I see in the pictures, I haven't seen the studio original.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Yeah, so we were the second. We didn't really see the original. We
Right.
saw the plaster stuff.
Yeah.
that would have been.
From what the report says about that original assessment of the plaster, they actually said only like over 60% of it had been painted over. So like a lot of it wasn't even so 40% of it was original. So that's not really a lot, and I think that was what ended up making them make the decision to just remove the whole thing. Because if it stayed plaster, it would have remained a problem. You know, with dropping and humidity.
Can you climb up there and cover that window?
I'm afraid not.
It's like too much.
The only time to, if you come in here at night, that's
Right.
the only time it would just be black. There's no way to cover it.
Very nice. This is such a beautiful building.
Do you have a voucher that you particularly liked doing?
Me? No,
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it all. I'm just so glad they looked as good as they did. The problem with collecting plants that look like a turkey, I kept seeing them and they didn't look that impressive in the
Yeah.
newspaper, and you're like, you're drying and you're collecting and you're pressing them. It's like,
Wait a minute. Explain to the people on BoobTube what we're talking about.
So
Here
what
is
we did,
here's
Yes.
the
there's
Yeah,
a
there's
picture
Mary.
of the live plants.
there's a picture of Mary taking a picture of a picture.
And then Derek, who is the living plants horticulture person who deals with these guys as seedlings, as living plants, as shipping them. So then they get put out in the ponds once the temperature is a certain degree, because they're so tropical, they don't like it cold at night, right? Isn't that the story?
Exactly.
So years and years and years ago, I collected a bunch of them for a project we had that we provided plant matter for chemical analysis and pharmaceutical research. So we started with living collections in the grounds. So I made a bunch of these. And then when when Nezka said she wanted to do some more vouchering, it's like, well, let's see what we got, let's see what we need to get, and then Derek wanted to collect vouchers of all living things, so we started doing it sort of systematically. So they start out as living, and then you press them in newspaper, dry them, and then glue them on paper, as you can see. But they look so impressive on white. Like I was saying, you do it over and over, and they don't look that nice. And I thought, oh my God, they're not going to look good.
What's so amazing to me though is they've retained so much color within a year, because it's been almost exactly a year since they were turned into the specimens. Like it was November-ish of 2019 that Sally and Rita did all of the gluing and sewing.
So we would have done it late that summer.
Yes. Yeah. So August mostly, a little bit in July. But July and August were mostly when you guys were collecting them.
I was going to say,
Especially this one's so pretty.
Are really old. There's some old ones here too that are going to be retaining color.
Yes, there are.
That is the impressive thing. That's the impressive thing. Is like just because something's a few months old, you're going to get color.
Yeah, these are younger than I thought they were going to be.
I don't know, some of the,
But here you should take the ones with the thorns too.
I do. Most of, I only have one type. It was a new car. A new car arena. That's the only type. All of these are older, but they're not that old. Like
Yeah,
the
that's
80s, 60s, 70s,
Well,
mostly
this one, I was
80s.
going to say, what's this one? That's
Oh, that's 47. That
Okay,
is
yeah,
47.
Philip, you might want to shoot this one. It's from
Which one?
1947, and it still has the color. And that's Pring's, right? And he's the guy that. Yeah, that's a Pring collection.
now can you smoke this stuff?
The one to the right.
This
you can
one?
Smoke that. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you're not going to smoke that specimen, but if you found that plant
Another
in the wild,
one.
yes, you can smoke it.
Which one's
You
that?
can also eat it. That's ampla.
Oh.
That's the one that the Mayan shamans actually ate to get psychoactive,
No kidding.
into psychoactive
Oh, let me go back
states.
to, wow, remember this one.
Yeah.
We gotta get some of that.
It's a new far or an infant?
No, that is an
Yeah.
Nymphea ampla. But it's
Oh,
also...
and that's her mom. That's Yvonne's husband.
Oh,
Okay.
that was his?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
She knows we all went to dinner. The husband,
And you guys-
the wife of the collector, just by chance, Nezka got to meet and have
Exactly.
dinner
Had
with
dinner
the
with
last day before the whole COVID
Oh, and you guys were
started.
tripping and it was just a
Yeah,
great
right.
party.
Yeah,
That was a
it's,
lot of fun, yeah. Also, she's lovely.
Oh,
but I mean,
she
you're obviously
is.
you've been friends with her a long time. But she was so sweet and nice.
Yeah, we went to La Russo's the very last night they were open.
Oh,
How
wow.
did it last?
And yeah, like maybe there were 4 tables. Like
I know, it
there were so few people there. And the fact that we were there without masks.
Oh yeah, it was all pre-COVID, you know. And,
Oh my
and then Yvonne, she was supposed to stay here till May. We had to take her home to the airport. Everybody had to just get out of
Is she in
town.
Veracruz? Is that where she was?
They're in Merida,
Oh, Merida.
which is on the Yucatan. And,
Right. It's another state though.
yeah.
Chilapa? Is it Chilapa?
Very good. So tell your name. You have an interesting name, very pretty unique name. Where's that?
It's a Slavic.
Slavic.
It's a diminutive though. So it's a form of Agnes, but Agnes is such an
Oh, aren't you
old-fashioned
lucky?
name. Oh, aren't I? Yes. So, but it's such an old-fashioned name, you know. So my parents came from Central Europe, the former Yugoslavia.
Ah.
They gave my brother and I both very old-fashioned names.
What's your brother's
Borut.
I've seen him in a movie.
That's Borat.
Oh,
Different.
No.
Same but different. Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you want to show him, Mary?
Well, I think the most important thing is how they retain their color. I mean, that
Yeah, here's another one.
and the fact that you take this big, giant, three-dimensional plant
I know.
and turn it into a two-dimensional flattened thing where you can see the anthers, the stamens, the leaves, the venation. I was going to say the one over there with the thorns on them. You know,
Yeah,
they just
exactly.
so much of the living
And
characters
what's
are
also
there.
so, like, what I think is so interesting about them is because I've seen so many specimens where the plants are teeny, teeny, teeny. Like, what's so amazing is that these take up quite a bit of real estate, you know? So the lily pads and
You
the
can
flowers.
You
And then
can
sometimes
really
you can
make
get
a
roots.
18
Yeah.
by 12 by 12 or 18 by 12,
Yeah.
a big old plant into an 18 by 12 piece of paper. So that's Derek up there, that picture of Derek.
Yeah, up in those with the little heads.
I don't know if you've met him.
Oh, he doesn't look familiar.
He's,
If I would assume you guys would have come to some event that he was in the presentation at.
yeah, maybe.
So all of the bugs,
Oh, no,
so
that's a whole nother,
the
yeah.
butterfly house, Philip, I'm assuming you know it, so
Yep,
I
yep.
don't know if you've been, but,
Yeah.
so the butterfly house, I myself have, years ago curated a show on bugs, and so have always been interested in including them whenever possible as part of the
Neat.
storyline. So they help me by identifying and collecting what would be the pollinators. So a lot of these were purchased. Some of them actually belong to the existing collection at the Butterfly House. But we wanted to talk about pollinators of water lilies, but also about the dragonflies and damselflies that use the plants for their, habitat. They don't actually pollinate. They only hang around because they like the water and that's where they feed.
And we don't really need them. We can kill them off and survive as human species, right?
That would really not be nice.
I know.
Dragonflies are awesome. Damselflies are awesome.
Oh, I love
This
dragonflies.
is my favorite photo. So we also had a volunteer photographer document this whole process, which is why there's pictures of everybody doing everything.
Yeah.
But I love this because of all the different colors.
That is
of the,
very cool.
The dragonfly and the flower, and then that's one of the chicory onions that you see that's behind the flower. That's bright orange.
Oh, I didn't realize.
That's a what?
In the pools over the summer, these big glass floating.
Oh, right.
onions.
Okay, I got it. I'm slow.
No, it's okay. Because, I'll be honest, I'm so fixated on the flowers, I ignore the glass.
Yeah.
And I actually get annoyed because I want to see the flowers better.
Right.
I wish they wouldn't put onions in there.
Well, I think someone bought those after. I think they were given to us after that show.
Yes.
Now, who put this dumb Irish stuff in here?
Don't include that. I mean,
Do you
don't
not
include the.
record that, please? Yeah.
This is going on YouTube.
You know it's not.
Please don't.
You know.
No, I'm not. This will stay personal.
I mean, what I find so great about this show is that you guys collected so much. So the whole show is plants.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know, I have a few objects, but those are mostly just things that Derek uses. Remarkably, Andy let me borrow the old bulletins that had George print articles about the hybrids and stuff.
But like, did we give some of them before?
Speak up. I can't hear you.
Were our water lilies in local ponds and things? Like in Forest Park or in any of the?
Forest Park, I don't think so. Tower Grove Park,
Okay, Tower Grove,
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. Tower Grove Park actually gets their water release from us. I think it's in a long-standing arrangement from even before, even though they have a whole staff, I don't think they have greenhouses to really maintain water lilies. So Derek gives them stuff every year.
Spain, botanical
Yes.
gardens in Spain and Italy, everybody's going to have water lilies.
Yeah. Well, and also, obviously some of them are native too.
Right, and then I would think some of those bring hybrids from all over the place.
Yeah. I think the main thing that's difficult is that you have to really have a hot house to have victorias. And so I think they try, I think you have to also, you have to have a lot, if you're a private person, you have to have a lot of money before you can have a Victoria. So I think
Yeah.
mostly just botanical gardens have those. Derek could confirm that. I think a couple people who can afford a very expensive.
The Victorias are the
They're
ones
the
with the
big,
little thorns that you can stand on.
Oh, well.
Ones that
Yeah.
you see the pictures, the old pictures of someone standing on them. Or,
Yeah.
But I heard, well, from what I've understood, they put stuff underneath it. They
Yes,
really.
and thank for saying that, because that's why I did not include a photo with people standing on them. I got
Right.
yelled at a few times. Nezka, you're not going to put us in there. I'm like, no, because we don't want people doing that. And secondly, it's not actually accurate. It's a, it's a bit of a fake.
Right, because I think somebody put their baby on them. Wooden thing on it. One of them, was it Derek? Or was it?
Not Derek. It was a
Steve?
previous person.
Was it Steve Wolf?
I don't know. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
I
Did the
remember.
baby
I
die?
can't think of
One
the
of the
guy.
court workers.
Yeah,
while
yeah.
someone was running things. Yeah.
No, it was okay. I mean, they took the picture. They didn't even have the public there when they took the picture.
Yeah. Well, they did that for the Stanley Cup when they won last year.
Did they put it on?
Yeah, they put-
Oh, that's right.
We didn't get to.
Yeah,
that's right. They
well, that was
didn't
going to be
tell
the big campaign this year, and they were going to showcase all the St. Louis organizations hosting the Stanley Cup, but obviously that campaign wasn't so great this year.
COVID got in the way.
And hockey
We
is
lost.
the.
Look, I don't know, did you drop something? Is that a...
Oh, that's my little case that she gave me for my thing. And you both agree hockey is the best sport ever, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, very good. That's the right answer. And basketball sucks, right?
Not true. She's not going to argue one way or the other. I don't know. I don't
The
know.
only sports I like watching are like tennis and soccer.
Uh,
Because there's stuff to watch, like, and because I'm not playing them, like I think
Right.
baseball's very much a participant.
you're right, I agree. Love playing it, hate watching. Yeah.
I mean, basketball's really busy, but it's that squeaking of the shoes that I just can't listen to 3 hours of that.
We're so talented.
Oh, they are. I do not.
It's so tall.
So
Okay.
Can you leave with that?
No, we didn't.
What?
I know we've got some. The leaf of the, those are the ones with the really horrible
Yeah.
spines. I mean, you can't press that. I mean, it's like,
Well, also by the time we got to the point where they were vouchering, like they were huge, like.
oh yeah, yeah.
So I never even like I didn't think you guys were gonna take one and cut it up
Yeah.
to fit
I'm
into
sure we have some in the.
10 pages or
In the
whatever.
variant.
Because that's what you would have to do, right? You literally have to slice. the
Well,
leaf
you
below
could give
that.
because it's a cultivar and stuff. You could give the size,
Okay.
and you could give like a front
slice.
side and a back side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we need to go and look at the dumb paintings again.
No, there's actually some more specimens in there.
Oh, good.
So the paintings are actually what's nice about these. These are like the steps that the artist took. So he created these drawings first, and so these are monoprints of his drawings, and then he created the smaller studies that were basically the building blocks for what became the large canvases downstairs.
Uh-huh.
So these were just like inspired by.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a lot of artists, when they're creating work that is meant to be meditative or contemplative, they're actually thinking about all the things they want to have in their head while they're going to paint that actual work. So some of the things are like traumatic, some of the things are beautiful, some of the things are intimate, some of the things are universal, and so you sort of see 48 different scenes that Arslan would have been thinking about and then creating. So some of them have plant material in them. One of them there's only one that's got like a little bit of water lily, but otherwise you see a lot of human figures and faces. Yes, the magnolia.
But these guys, I think you said, didn't you say you guys sort of created where
Yes,
to put them?
yeah,
So
he
the
did.
artist didn't care how they put them up, so they just
That's
kind
right.
of did their own thing. She and her
Yes.
assistants, which I think it works too. Did you like play with them?
Yeah, so what
Did you,
happened
like,
was I
have this
actually,
over here and,
the two installers that I hired to help me are also both artists.
Oh, okay.
So I asked them to like lay them out as to like, I said, and I made a few specific choices. I said, I really want the water lily one to be right at eye level so that people can't miss
Yeah.
that. And I did that with some of the, and I also got the magnolia one, of course. But then when they set it all up, I was like, I was like, they had like a lot of the dark ones on one side. I was like, oh, could you mix it up a little? And so after that, then this is the arrangement that we decided on, and I really liked it. And I just installed it, and it's just all, each of these are just
I love it.
Isn't that great?
It's just, that's how I hang my artwork at home.
Yes, well, I've done it that way numerous
I
times.
know. I love that there's a crucifixion.
I know. Yeah, so there's a lot of like contemplative stuff, which I think would have been really interesting to get more people to see this part because then you
Yeah,
can
this
see
is, I
kind
think
of.
this is really neat.
Well,
When I
this-
came in there, I was like, this is cool.
Aw, cool. I'm glad to hear that. Well, that's it, like,
There was one other lady too on the whole thing that liked it too, I think.
Did she
It was
like it? I mean, this
no,
is
I made a smart ass.
well, this is like, I think craft, like, to me, I think so many people just see contemporary art as whatever the finished product is, and when you have an artist like Arslan that's actually willing to sort of pull back the curtain a little bit,
Huh.
and show you different kinds of steps before you get to the final artwork, I think people just appreciate it more,
Or understand that it isn't just like, I just did
Yeah,
this.
exactly, yeah. And then the plants that I ended up putting in this case are ones, so they're examples of the species that would have been used to hybridize Monet's actual water lilies.
Okay.
So the
To what?
guy-
Now, what's
so,
it-
so Monet is famous for painting these
Oh,
water
gotcha,
lilies.
gotcha.
He actually fell in love with the plants first. So the paintings are really an afterthought more than, so he loved the colors, and it was because the guy who was hybridizing, whose name was Borley Latour Marliac,
There you go.
that firm still exists to this day. They're still hybridizing water lilies in France.
Well,
And-
I mean, that's a selling point. I mean,
Exactly.
Jesus, if you're the
Monet's water lilies,
if you're the
right?
company that
Oh,
is
wow.
hiring Monet.
And so he would have used
Yeah.
this was like the main water lily in Europe was just this white water lily, Nymphaea alba.
Huh.
And so then once they had access to this one, for example, Mexican one, and a couple of other tropicals, that enabled them to have hardy water lilies, but with multiple colors. So
Oh,
it's a lot
wow.
more of a spectrum to the kinds of flowers they could.
I missed that last time.
I don't remember Steve Wolf being with us. Jesus,
He was with us
terrible.
just one time,
Was he really?
just once. He was cleaning the pools
But
once.
was he already retired?
Oh yeah,
That's what I thought. Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Because I was just looking at
It
his
was
name.
one of the August dates.
I'm so glad. Well, 23rd, because that's his.
Oh, is that where his name is? Oh, yeah,
yeah. I just
Yeah.
didn't remember.
He, for some reason, Derek, either he was busy and didn't show up a couple times, or other people were helping Derek instead, so he only was there one day at all. Yeah. And then this, of course, is not one of the species, but this is what some of those cultivars could have originally looked like.
Okay.
Very puffy and
Okay.
very yellow, like very
Okay.
intense yellow color. I also love the leaves. I love when they gradate like that and have both purple and pink and green.
Oh yeah, the leaves are really,
They're so lovely.
really different. And then when they dry, you see those colors a lot more than you do
And even the
when they're alive,
modeling, because you can't really
for sure.
tell the modeling that
Yeah,
well
like,
in
yeah,
the
it's
live
funny
photo,
when
right?
when you dry them, you really see.
And
other
like, and
things.
Tom took all these photos. I mean, like,
Yeah,
this was just such an amazing project. Like, I would.
Tom was the volunteer
Mm-hmm.
that followed us around, and he took me pressing, he took us cutting,
Drying.
he took
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. And to me, like, it was just, to me, it was so successful on so many levels. Like, everybody worked together, everybody was doing their job, and then
Right,
contributing
right.
to this larger thing, and being able to capture it. So,
Get them boom.
yeah.
Really a bummer.
I'm just glad something was able to be salvaged, but
Yeah,
I agree.
well, I mean, it's
Like,
such a-
imagine what we could have done if the water lilies were in the pools, people could go, like, imagine, like, I bet you we could put in
was
special
so
tours and
local.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
It's so mobile. You know, and then
So
get people
mobile.
over the Tower Road, it's like, oh my god, yeah. Tower.
Well, and communications came up with a phone app, so that the idea was they could scan, they could type in the name of the flower and then find out where it would be in the pools. And we'll see it, but we never ended up being able to do that.
So Philip, here are the,
Oh, yeah.
here are the.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Here's the- is that the one we got first?
Yes, that's first. This is the last one that was crumbled and had to be recreated because it's smooth.
Asa Gray.
So this was in the many incarnations of the building. They had put a drop ceiling, and then when they were
Wow.
taking the drop ceiling away, that's when they saw these portraits,
Yeah.
which then halted everything.
Okay, this is the guy.
That's about when you saw it, Philip, because that's when it got halted.
Uh-huh.
And then-
So this is the famous
How much
guy.
development they
I
did.
don't know. It must have been long enough that we were walking around the grounds and it was like, "You gotta get me in there. I want to see it." And I think it just happenstance. that
Yeah, it
Jerry
did.
was walking by and like, "Hey, man, can you
Oh, cool.
So this is the, tell me who this guy is, because they named the greenhouse.
The middle one is Linnaeus. So he's, I mean, he's not exactly the father of botany, but that's basically how everybody treats
Right.
him because he came up with the binomial naming system. So,
Right.
but he was building upon work that other botanists had done prior to him. So, but he's sort of credited with the modern taxonomic system. And then to the left, you have George Engelman, who would have been the gardens botanist and Henry Shaw's.
Partner, wasn't he? Some like a,
advisor, botanical
Yeah,
advisor.
botanical
He was
advisor.
a medical doctor in
Yeah.
St. Louis at the time.
And he studied the native grape species and helped
Oh, okay.
figure out.
Is he factoring into the grape?
Yeah, so the Missouri State entomologist worked with George to identify what the plants were that the phylloxera had all galls on, the galls were on, and then they figured out the whole fact that the phylloxera didn't really attack the roots the American plants had some sort of protective abilities against the philosopher. And so then that led to the viticulturalists realizing that they could graft the European grape onto it.
And this is General Gray, the Confederate officer?
I'm afraid not. No, this would have been a Yankee. This is Asa Gray, the head of the Harvard Herbarium and Arboretum.
Ooh.
Yes. And he was kind of like, you know how like Neil deGrasse Tyson is like the superstar of physics in America?
Yeah.
This is like the superstar of botany in the 19th century in America. Like
Oh, wow.
Asa Gray.
Yeah, correct.
And he was friends with Darwin. He and his wife, I think, traveled to visit the Darwins in England. All these scientists
Nice.
coming out together.
They did TV shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Totally. They binge watch, they Netflix and chill. But Engelmann would, because even though he was like, he eventually became a serious botanist, but originally was an amateur, he would correspond with Asa Gray, with William Hooker at Kew, and so they're the ones who actually ended up connecting Shaw with Engelmann. They didn't meet naturally, they met because Hooker was suggesting, oh, you've got this really smart guy, he can help you. And at that point, I think also Engelmann had been already named to the Academy of Science. And so he sort of had some.
And he was already here?
He was already here.
Wow. What a cool place. I can't believe these smart people they were in QAnon and Trump supporters and all that. Is that?
Let's just hope so.
No, Q is the garden in
The
Britain.
Royal Botanical Gardens,
KBW.
thank you.
Right, not QAnon. Gotcha. What else? Who's this guy?
Another Linnaean bust of Linnaeus.
Is that the one that's used for the? Is that the same one that's on the
I don't
tree?
think so, no. This was this is just a plaster one that was in PWJ's office and he wanted me to pull it out. But this is that's the actual model for the Stressenfest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got all the plants on it.
Yes.
So what's up? This is what?
This is the model for the bust of Engelmann that's out on the ground. And yet
Oh.
You know, over by the
It's
German
sort of-
garden.
Right.
I think some of those trees need to get trimmed back because you sort of miss Engelmann.
Yeah.
Sort of hit obscured a bit.
And I think if you'll notice on the sculpture out there, there's plants that are
Yeah.
depicted that are things that were named after him.
Mm.
Like there's a cactus.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's
There's a cactus, there's a pine tree, there's,
all kinds of Engelmannias.
yeah, I even want to say that like there's a water lily, but it's not a native, it's like in Kenya or something. But I could be wrong,
You just make it up.
I try not to, but yeah, there were quite a few plants that were named after him.
So you said this is going to be up till March 7th?
That's my last day,
And
yeah.
then
The thing is, the artists and the lenders want their stuff back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I do have to install this wine exhibition.
Yeah, she's doing one on grapes and wine.
Oh, neat. Oh, that'll be
The
huge.
people that I went and collected with.
Right.
Allison and Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of their work will be somewhere.
Yes, it's gonna, they're sharing, Alison sharing information about the actual project because it looks at it's the contemporary science of how grafting affects the wine, the final product. But hopefully some of the data sets are going to get used by the artists that are creating works for the show.
Cool.
So, and do you remember that potato artist that had that beautiful print in here and then this long scroll in this case for the potato show?
Yeah, but I'm drawing a blank on it. Why am I drawing a blank on it?
It was very delicate little green shoots. Well, actually it was gray color, they weren't green, but her name's Dorna Darby and she's doing a phylloxera inspired thing.
Was she pregnant? Was she the one that had the baby? Did I hear her?
That was Megan Singleton, who's the paper artist.
That was paper. Okay.
Paper,
Yeah. I know.
Dorna came here, but she came to connect about the wine show, and then while we were meeting about that, she was like, she was, what do you have working on next? Because this was the summer of 2019. And I was like, oh, potato. She's like, potato? I got potato. You need potato works? I got them. And I was like, okay.
I'm sure I saw.
It was one big, beautiful mandala that was just like this beautiful photo print. And then she created this huge scroll that was in this case that featured little potato plants growing. And it was kind of about the journey of Irish immigrants coming to the States.
That's the place.
light, and then, yeah. Yeah, she does some really cool seed banking stuff. Like, she's gone to visit all the seed vaults around the world and document them. She's got some really beautiful work, but she also does X-ray stuff too. That's what the photos were of. So
Is it okay if I go upstairs?
you can, yes.
Or no, I don't have to.
No, you're allowed. You're allowed to just
Oh, is he going upstairs?
go upstairs. Just be careful, because
Yes,
that
ma'am.
railing is not to code, which is why we don't typically allow people up there.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
Oh, wow. You guys wave. Oh. Whoop.
Yes. No, these are all
So these
original.
were the very cases in their offices, like Therese. Therese had an
Also,
office there.
there was another guy. Who was the one who did the corn collection? Cutler. Probably that I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he was like the corn that's in the tasting.
Oh, damn.
I'm almost positive that's Cutler. Yeah, and so I know for a fact he definitely was in that. Philip, when you get closer to the commute, you're gonna see a little step. So
Yeah, got it.
and there's another step down on the opposite.
Gotcha. I'll just stop right here. I'm getting a good shot of the ceiling, though. Okay, now you guys, it's time for you to dance. Let's see you dance. Do the twist.
That's the famous bird.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even know these were up here.
Well, it used to be over in that room in the museum.
Now, why are they so famous?
Yeah, they were as collectible porcelain sculpture. They were extreme hot for many decades.
Ah,
I mean, they can take a pretty amazing amount of skill to actually do well.
right.
And so they were very highly collectible. So people that would make them into making them and collecting them and investing in them. But now they're not really worth that much.
Yeah, I couldn't. When you said porcelain, it's like, no way. Then if you look at.
Some of the persons that were born in China, there's two kinds.
Wow.
They're really delicate and that's a great no, it's a bird.
I noticed too, they have, like up here, it says a Puntia Engelmann, like a little Easter egg or something.
That's the prickly pear. That's prickly pear cactus.
Ah, so it identify, okay, gotcha.
And actually, there's some bird next to the name. There's a little patch of it.
Wow, these birds are amazing.
It's on the right hand, corner, easternmost corner of the building. Like that one tree area, which is all empty, but I it's true. Yes, just to be, yes, official. I came last week and tried to get quotes and it was hard. And then I knew that they would motion the dome, not dome, whatever that central thing was. And so I drove by it today and I had to get my teacher. Other than that, I didn't go to Rollins. And I was at when they.
You know what's funny is I go to
Wow, very cool.
Be very careful on the way down, by the way.
Yes, ma'am.